Hey guys, before I get started with this video, first I want to say this channel is dedicated to pretty much just gaming rants and streams. So I will be doing more streams, and you may have remembered me from Course 923, and I had to delete that channel because I was just so tired of. Well, I was in a rough place, and I was going all over the place, and I'm no longer going to be doing Let's Plays because it's just very tiring and stuff like that. So I will be doing a lot more. I will work around to trying to doing some streams on here and some gaming rants. So this channel is basically Core's game rants and streams. So if you like everything you saw here or everything you heard, definitely give it a like, comment, and of course subscribe if you love everything you've seen here. All right. So to start off with, yesterday I did actually watch Nintendo's Direct, and well, I kind of missed the actual stream, but because I was working at the time, and I looked over everything, and then I did actually watch one of, mostly he was kind of like one of my favorite cool awesome YouTubers, but now I kind of think he's a hypocrite. And so who am I talking about in general? All right, so not to, beat the horse and not to, I'm going to try to minimize the politics and stuff like that. I'm not going to I'm making this channel completely less politics and more on just gaming in general. All right, so to start off with, this guy, he goes by Reaching Golden Eagle. He is basically a guy who is really, he doesn't like video games as much as possible. And I figured this out because, I've been watching his channel for about, I don't know, close to maybe about 3 years at least. And it now just dawned on me because of everything he said. And his whole thing is, now, this relates to censorship. Now, I understand there are two sides of a coin, okay? There's a heads and there's the tails, all right? Pretty much half the people on YouTube pretty much are against censorship. And I can understand their points. And then I also understand the other side, which is for censorship. But the thing is, when it comes to gaming in general, okay, gaming is all about having fun. Gaming is all about the story and the gameplay. It's not really necessarily about nudity and stuff like that. And yes, some games do actually feature some boobs. Pretty much any game, okay? Let's take a look at Skyrim, okay? Skyrim is a good example, okay? In Skyrim, there are plenty of, yes, there's mods, and you can totally add a nudity mod if you want. There's no stopping you on doing that. But there's also, there's plenty of female characters within the game that you can definitely look at people with boobs. I mean, seriously. Now, even though, yes, there's not fully, bare-breasted boobs, because obviously that's in this day and age, in this era right now, currently, it's just not quite as accepted. And even though there's a lot of people who are really perverted and have a very perverted type of, what's the word here? I'm trying to think of the word. The word is, I guess, very porn-like personality, okay? I guess we'll put it there. Porn-like personality, okay? Or PLP, okay? Porn-like personality. And the thing is that one thing I've realized, because when I look at all the games I've played in the past and current, a lot of the games I play, I look at games as just the story and the gameplay. I don't necessarily like look at games as being nudity. Now, yes, I like female nudity. Let's be real here, okay? Any guy likes looking at at a woman naked, okay? That's just the way how minds are antiquated. But in reality, most of the time when you're out in the real world, or you're working, or you're walking around, a city, you notice different women with different breast sizes. But you don't actually see them completely naked, because it's just, in retrospect, a lot of women think that's very perverted, because it's just, and also too, society can't antiquate, or can't even relate to seeing that type of thing, unless of course they go into a strip club, in which case, okay, sure, if you're rich and powerful, you can go to a strip club and you can see women with their breasted, and they'll give you a lap dance. Okay? Or if you're in a relationship and, and it's dark out, and a woman, comes to your place, yes, she'll offer you some sex if you so desire. But in reality, I can understand the whole thing, the war on censorship, and I can understand both sides of a coin. And I've kind of realized to myself, and it dawned on me like this morning, okay? It dawned on me that, it's up to the developer okay, it depends on the game and the type of game that the developer is actually making, okay? Some games, if the developer feels that nudity should be involved in a game, that's completely his or her choice, okay? Some games, may end up, maybe having a little bit of sex appeal. That's fine. Others may not. Look at Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts doesn't really feature a lot of nudity. In general, there's not really any. It's just a story about basically it's about like three friends. They go on an adventure. Well, one of them, apparently her soul gets trapped within a boy, and then later she actually ends up being one of the princesses of heart. And when I look at everything, when I look at the game and the way how it's played out, there is the game that the whole entire series is not called for nudity. It really doesn't, actually. And if you look at indie games in general, indie games don't actually, a lot of indie games that you see on Steam or on Nintendo eShop or anywhere, there's not really like a lot of nudity in anything. Now, okay, if you're playing Honey Pop, okay, I can understand that. Okay, when you look at Honey Pop, yes, that game does have a little bit of nudity. Basically, like right after the third date, you essentially end up having sex, and then afterwards you see a screenshot of the woman completely naked. That's just the way how it plays out. And there are some visual novels that also do actually have that. I mean, there are some anime porn-like games that are actually on Steam. And when I look back at last night when I was watching Archie's stream, I realized something that that they talks about. A lot of stuff they talks about is how he talks about, I'm not interested in games that that are censored. I'm not really, if I'm gonna play a game, I want to play a game that has nudity. So I go to, and if there's a new game out, I wait to hear, some reviews, and then I'll wait 6 months or half a year. And in my mind, I'm like, why would you wait half a year? Because in general that by the time the game is out, after, since there's games on sale, you can take a look at the game for yourself and then decide if you want to buy it or not. That's the whole entire thing. Because in general, okay, in any industry, if a studio or a publisher is selling you a product, yes, it's okay to read some reviews and to get some perspective on what type of game it is. Okay, what's that one game thing like a couple of years ago that was made by THQ? The one that featured like a raccoon of some kind. I forget the name of the game now. But essentially, yes, on Steam, that game had mixed reviews. And sure, yes, at one point I was gonna buy it, but then I kind of just after seeing it had mixed reviews, and then after looking at some gameplay, back when Conan O'Brien, was when he still was when he still had like some developers on his show, and he was showing up, and he was showing some gameplay. I looked at it and I was like, this game is kind of interesting, but I don't know if it's for me. And it's really up to the person, because everyone has different likes for games. Okay, let's just be honest. Everybody has different tastes for different games. For me, I like JRPGs. You who are watching this, you may have a taste for maybe just racing games in general, or maybe first-person shooters, or online multiplayer games. That's all these different genres of games are completely up to you. Okay, everybody has different tastes for something, and that's okay. You don't have to agree, or you don't have to like the same games as the other person. Okay. For me, I like playing JRPGs because JRPGs are fun. I like a game with a good sense of story. And when RG mentions Skyrim, he's not really like literally thinking about like, he just talks about the game and how much in the game you can do anything you want to. But one thing he always bitches and whines about is the fact is like, oh well, if the game doesn't feature anything with cleavage and stuff, I'm not gonna buy it. I'll just go, I have enough games on my Steam library or somewhere. And then of course he just mentions like games like doujinshi type of games or hentai type of games, and I'm like, hentai is cool, but honestly for me, I don't like that stuff, considering that I don't really like watching a guy plowing a woman. To me, honestly, that to me is like, it's a turnoff. I don't like that stuff. Okay? Now, if I were to watch some porn, I would just want to watch two women, screwing each other. Okay? That sounds more interesting to me. Not really watching, it's not really interesting to me for me to be watching a guy plow a woman. Okay, it's a turnoff. It really is a turnoff. I don't like that stuff. I mean, I know other people would say the opposite, but again, it's my preference. I would rather watch two females screwing each other. That's just my thing. But in general, I don't really watch porn at all, because I stay away from porn because I just don't really like it that much. I mean, yes, having sex is cool, but it's kind of boring at the same time sometimes. I mean, maybe every once in a while it's cool to have sex, but honestly, I don't know. I mean, unless of course, you have someone in your life that's really cool, there's not really very much like of appeal to have sex, and that just goes for in general, honestly, at least in my opinion. Okay, you can have your own set of opinions, but in general, games are all about having fun. Okay, that's what video games are. It's F.U.N. Okay, it's all about having fun within games. Games don't need to have just real world politics involved. Unless, of course, you're talking a game like Watch Dogs 2, okay? In that game, yeah, there are some, making fun of real companies like for example, in Watch Dogs 2, there's one corporation called Noodle, in which case it's actually making fun of Google because, you take the G out, you replace it with an N, or actually, no, you take the two G's out and you just replace it with an N, double O and a D and an LE, and there you go. It's Noodle. It's just making fun of Google. That's all it is. Okay? And, in general, games are all about, again, as I keep on saying, it's all about having fun. It's all about the story. It's all about the gameplay. Okay? Because you need to think about this. Your mind, when you see a trailer, a gameplay trailer of some kind, your mind is more focused on, like, okay, what is the gameplay for this? What's the story behind it? What type of genre is it? Okay? Your brain is not thinking about nudity. Like, the last thing your brain thinks about is nudity. Okay? And honestly, it's gotten to the point in my life where I'm just done hearing about censorship. I literally just want to play games that interest me. Okay? If I want to play Kingdom Hearts, I'll play Kingdom Hearts. If I want to play, I don't know, let's see, some other game like Fairy 7 and something, Fairy and Sword 7 or whatever it's called, that Chinese game that's on Steam, I'll play that because it reminds me of Darksiders. Or if I want to play Darksiders, I'll play that. Or, if I want to play something a little bit naughty, fine, I'll play that. But in general, games are not about nudity. It's really about having fun. And to anybody out there that literally has a thing about censorship, you guys need to literally get over it and stop literally, stop whining and bitching about, games being censored, okay? When I looked at the Nintendo Direct last night, okay, there were some games that really seemed appealing to me. Now, some of them were sports games. I'm not going to deny that, but they looked pretty cool, like Mario Strikers Battle League. That looked interesting. Let's see, what else? Nintendo Switch Sports. That looked interesting, considering I haven't played in a while. Let's see, what other games were there? There's Kirby Forgotten Land. Yeah, that seemed to, caught my interest. And yeah, the way how Kirby can basically, instead of just copying enemy moves, he can just swallow objects and give himself power-ups, which is also a pretty cool, nifty idea. See, that's the thing about gaming. Gaming in general is all about immersion. It's about, it's about telling a good story. It's all about, getting people, hyped up, getting them interested into whatever game that appeals to them. Now I understand there are some games that are terrible, and that's just common in any given situation. I mean, if you look at the Steam Deck, yeah, there are there may be some flaws with the hardware, because I know the Steam Deck is going to be released on the 28th of February. But if you think about it, if you really think about it, yeah, there are some really cool, impressive stuff within the hardware itself. But also, you need to consider the fact is that not everything is perfect. Everything has flaws in some shape or form. Okay? Like, for example, when it comes to cooking, let's say, you're making a coffee, like a Frappuccino, for example, okay? When you make it, you may think, it tastes great, but something doesn't feel right. And yeah, that's the thing, because you need to think about the whole thing, because when it comes to cooking, you may consider it, okay, what's better? Should I just, I can save money if I cook it myself, but the thing is that I'm literally going to be wasting a little bit of time when I could be doing something else. And you may consider just going over to, I don't know, like Starbucks or Pete's Coffee or maybe Phil's Coffee or something. or any coffee place that you can think of. Okay? You may think, oh yeah, if I go there, I'll get a much more better deal because I like the taste better than if I make it myself. And that's completely your opinion. You don't have to agree with everything. And I'm so sick and tired of, okay, yeah, I'm so sick and tired of wait 6 months and then decide if you're gonna get it or not. No. Okay? If you don't want to pre-order the game, here's the thing. Wait till it goes on sale. Okay? Wait till it goes on sale, look up some reviews, or watch some gameplay to determine if the game is right for you. Okay? Stop thinking about everything about nudity, because not everything is about nudity. It's about having fun. Okay? I am tired of everybody, like literally, two sides of the same coin. Like one side saying, "Oh, I don't want to play this game because it doesn't have nudity." Oh, I like this game because it's censored. You know what? Everybody just shut the fuck up about censorship and nudity and just literally find games that you like to play and play them. Enjoy them. Same thing with art. When you look at art, look at, the abstract, the design, the visuals. All aspect of the art. Same thing when you watch a YouTube video. What is it, was there something that you liked? Was there something that you didn't like? Was there something that you agree on with the creator? Or do you not agree with them? Those are the type of things you need to think about. Okay? So going forward, I hope this video kind of gave you a little bit better understanding of how to look at games in a general perspective. Look at the games as the story and gameplay elements. Okay? Don't think about the nudity portion. Yes, I know in the past, when in my past channel of Course 923, I did talk. I was so focused on nudity and such that I myself was convincing myself that for some reason I was really into the whole nudity aspect of video games, but that's actually not true. I really just like games, to be played with a good sense of story and a purpose. Okay? And yes, the graphic portion looks okay. It's, graphics are graphics. There's not really, and I don't really sense very much of a change in visuals. And really, nowadays, I'm like looking more at the story and the gameplay. I mean, if it's a strategy-based type of game, like something within like Fire Emblem, that doesn't really catch my interest. Yeah, the game is cool, but I prefer like something within like the Tales games where everything is just action based, where you just push a button and your character attacks the enemy. Or if it's like turn based, like how it was in the original Final Fantasy VII. That is pretty cool, okay? And there are some really cool, awesome, there's some, yes, I understand the whole thing with remasters and stuff, and yes, I've beaten that horse to death on my other channel back when it was still around, but I've kind of chosen that in general, I just like to play games that are really cool and awesome. So, in general, just have fun with the games that you like. Enjoy new upcoming games that do come out, and stop trying to put, to try and talk about censorship, because in general, what I've seen when I watch a YouTuber like Spawn Wave or RGT85, they just talk about the games. They just talk about the gameplay, or they talk about the past titles that came before it. That's cool. I don't mind it. And the one thing I also remember was reading in the comments section last night in the stream was talking about, in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, there was some fan service. Sure, yeah. If they're, If a developer wants to put in fan service, that's completely up to his or her choice. Okay? And yeah, I know I'm just going on a rant at this point, but there you go. All right. So I've given you my whole entire thing. I hope this video serves you well, and I hope you guys will think back on everything I have said in this video. And it's okay if you disagree with me. Nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. There may be some things I may have said that may have gone off topic, but hey, I said what I need to say. All right. So you can agree with me if you like to, disagree with me if you don't like to. You can definitely hit the like if you liked it. You can definitely leave comments, and if you want to see more, definitely hit the subscribe button. I will look into figuring out when I can start doing some streams again. I'm no longer, this channel is not going to be dedicated to Let's Plays anymore because I'm tired of doing Let's Plays, and in general, I just want to play games that offline that interest me more. All right. So with that, I like to end things off here. Again, or rather not again, this is Core Games. So yeah, this is Core Games game rants and streams. So yeah, come by for more awesome game rants that I'll probably be posting up more here on YouTube in the future. All right. With that, again, I'll see you guys next time. This is again Core Games. Core's game rants and streams. Why do I keep putting Core Games in the mix? Oh my god. I'm so sorry. Anyway, signing out. See you guys next time.